Well, happy Friday. We've got some Xbox Developer Direct confirmations. We knew one was happening in January, but now we have more details on that. And Nintendo has announced some hardware and a new game on NSO, well, a new old game on NSO. We got another GameCube game we'll talk about. And then we're going to take a look at some of CES game tech that was announced because I didn't cover any of it this week. And I figure it's worth a look at. But let's jump in first with the Xbox Developer Direct happening later this month. Right here. We've got... they've confirmed that it's on January 22nd, 10 a.m. Pacific time. I need to look at what day of the week that is. I would like to do a reaction stream because we get an update on Fable from Playground Games and Forza Horizon from Playground Games. And then Game Freak's game that I can't remember the name of. But it's from Game Freak. And it looks really good, so we're going to check it out. I think that's all this article really says. Beast of Reincarnation, that's what it is. And I'd like to check out Beast of Reincarnation. It looks pretty awesome. Supposedly, there's some other titles in the works to be announced here. I think there's 2 more, or at least 1 more extra title they're going to go over. Because if this is like a big direct, these 3 games are gonna. There's gonna be a lot of information on them, and I don't see them spending a whole lot of time on like Forza, other than to hype us up and show us cars. You know, Fable might get a lot of attention, but I am excited for whatever they show here. It's gonna be good to see what's coming next for Xbox and I guess technically PlayStation as well. At PC, so that'll be good. I'm excited for it. We'll do a reaction stream so long as I don't have any meetings or midday obligations on January 22nd. So that'll be awesome. Definitely looking forward to it. All right, let's move. We also got an update. Xbox and Obsidian's Avowed is coming to PS5 a year later. It's an anniversary update. There's some new features announced. Announced at the New Game Plus showcase on Thursday. The PS5 version will release alongside Avowed's anniversary update on February 17th, along with a New Game Plus mode, new races, new weapon types, a photo mode, and more. Avowed's PS5 release arrives 1 year after it debuted on Xbox consoles and PC, and continues Microsoft's modern strategy of releasing its games across multiple platforms. So that's kind of cool. I didn't pick up Avowed. I was going to play it while I had Game Pass, and then they increased the price of Game Pass. So I don't know if I'll play Avowed. It looked kind of interesting. I've heard it's good. From some of the guys on the Gaming Roundtable have talked about it, and I thought it was good. So, there's that. All right, let's move on. Thought this was interesting. Switch 2's first holiday sales failed to match original console. So a new report reveals that Nintendo Switch 2 failed to match the original console sales during the first holiday period. Switch 2 has been going strong in sales since its release, helping boost hardware sales across multiple months. The new console also reached a sales milestone of 10 million units in November 25. However, it seems things have been declining since then. A report by the Game Business reveals that Switch 2 sales have slowed during the holiday period, with the change more evident in Western markets. Switch 2 fell short by 35% in the United States when compared to the original Switch in the same period, 2017. Situation somewhat similar in Europe, with the sales of the new console 16% lower than those of the previous one in the same period in the UK. However, overall Switch 2 sales in the UK were 6% higher than Switch 1. I think it's just indicative of how expensive everything got towards the end of the year. And people are like, I can't afford things. What do I do? Also, it could be just a new console sentiment right now. Games are expensive. People don't want to pay $80 or even $70 really for games. And so they're not going to. Families are, having to budget a little tighter, and this shouldn't surprise anybody. Like this holiday season was bad for console sales all around, and so with that, that this is bound to happen. Even if like PlayStation sold well, it's still, I believe, lower than it has been across the board, just for everybody. And that's due to a lot of things. But I think people are just like, hey, gaming's getting expensive. And also, why would I buy new hardware right now? You know, everything, they're talking about PS6 already. PS6 discussion is in the news cycle. When is that going to happen? Well, now it might even be longer because of the AI and RAM shortage and all of that happening at the same time. But yeah, I'm not surprised by this. Anyway. All right, we got some new Joy-Con 2 colors. I thought this was worth mentioning because they seem committed to the black with the like undertone color instead of the old Switch Joy-Con method of the bright color with like black accents on it or any other color, because like the Zelda ones had different color buttons and stuff than normal. Anyway, I like the colors though. Purple and green, or was it light purple and light green? This is pretty slick. Thoughts in favor of Nintendo? All the artist renderings of the color fully covering the Joy-Con just looks like Switch 1 Joy-Con, so they need a differentiation. And regarding the color inside the Switch itself, the Silly Welcome Tour game does state that those are stickers. So it might come with stickers that go on Switch to change it from the default. I didn't realize that would look like that, pulling that up. But anyway, I'm not so much concerned about the inside of the Switch matching. I could care less, right? I think that's there for people that don't know how the Switch works or little kids who need a helpful reminder. I would like to get a set of these so that I have 4 Joy-Con 2s for stuff like Mario Party. But the Joy-Con 1s work just fine. But then everybody could do like the mouse mode games and the Switch 2 specific games for like Mario Party Jamboree. I think that's kind of my thoughts. I don't know. Am I gonna drop $100 on these, or am I gonna wait for maybe like a Zelda or Pokemon edition? That is a good question. I don't know. I might pick these up just so we have another set of Joy-Con 2s. And then, yeah, that's what I did with the Switch 1. And then I might get rid of a set of Joy-Con 1s that I've got. Because I've got like 3 sets of Joy-Cons for the Switch 1. And then I've got I got 2 Pro controller. I got a Switch 1 Pro controller and my Switch 2 Pro controller. So it's like I have a bunch of control options. It's not hard to figure out. It's just I've only got 1 Switch 2. So is it worth picking these up yet? I don't know. Especially when the Switch 1 controllers work with the Switch 2 just fine. I'm not that worried about it. VT, welcome back. But yeah, I think the colors are cool. I'm down. I'm wondering if the new Pokemon gets announced this year, is it going to get a special edition Switch 2 console? If that's the case, these might wait, right? I might pick up the special Pokemon edition Switch 2 instead, and then that'll be like my second Switch 2, and we'll retire my wife's Animal Crossing Switch 1. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe we'll hang on to it for posterity. I have no clue. Anyway, I think it's cool. People are getting upset about it. I agree, Will. They do have to look different than the Switch 1 Joy-Cons. But I think I like the subtle colors just personally over the top colors. I'm just curious how special edition Joy-Cons are going to work. Because I think they're shaped different enough that you'll know, like, this doesn't have a rail or any mechanism to slide it onto a Switch 1. It's also physically bigger than the Joy-Cons. It's wild Mario Tennis gets the first set of special edition. I don't even think these are special edition. I think these are just alternate colors, and they just coincided it with Mario Tennis because 4-player maybe is popular. You know? That's the only thing I could think. Yo, welcome in, Arroweye Art, bringing in so many wonderful people this morning. We're live doing game news, just talking about the new Switch Joy-Con colors for the Switch 2. The Joy-Con 2s for the Switch 2. Anyway, welcome in, Raiders. Good to see ya. How was the stream? I hope everybody had a great morning. If you're new here, hit the follow button. Appreciate you being here. Let's move on. Maybe. Okay, Switch 2's latest GameCube game is now live, bringing the total to 8. So we got Fire Emblem Path of Radiance hitting the NSO library for GameCube for Switch 2. And I gotta say, I'm not a Fire Emblem fan, but this is awesome because this game is like $200 or more secondhand. And so the only other alternative would be to pirate it, which I would recommend doing. Don't pirate games. Don't pirate Nintendo games, especially. So this is an official way to actually play this game if you're even casually interested in it. Do Joy-Cons 2 work like the Wii remote nunchuck setup? They can in some games. They can in some. Some games it works really well to have them one in each hand. But yeah, anyway, I kind of spaced out there. Sorry. Yeah, so I'm really pumped for this. I'm surprised I didn't see like a trailer, but now I want to go look. And because this is how we can do this on the game news, I'm not gonna pull it up in front of everybody because I don't want to. Oh my gosh, move! We were stuck by my own design. Unless even Nintendo America posted a trailer on X. On Eggs. They usually post trailers when new games launch. They also did a Mario Tennis deep dive. Wow, they posted nothing about Fire Emblem. Maybe they'll post it later today. Anywho. Yeah, Path of Radiance being on Switch Online, though, is a big deal because that's a really rare game, really hard to get game. And then GameCube games just in general are stupid expensive, especially the first-party ones. So this is a great chance for people to play a game that they might have been interested in but could not ever pick up because reasons, you know. All right, let's move on. But I'm really pumped to do it. I might try this game out. I've never played a Fire Emblem before. This one looks cool. I don't know what's going on here, but that bird is wielding a beak while Ike has an iron sword. It's kind of cool. Okay, Games Radar. All right, let's look at the CES Game Tech gaming gadgets, their list, and we'll talk about what's good and what's not. All right, the Belkin Charging Case Pro. Why wouldn't you call it the Pro charging case? I don't know. Hey, King Ryan, good to see you. Thanks for being here this morning. Oh gosh, what are we doing? So this charges and stores the Switch, transports it safely. That's pretty cool. I think they had something like that for the Switch 1. This thing here has got my attention. The Corsair Galleon 100 SD. It's basically the numpad is now a Stream Deck and has a bunch of customizable hotkeys and some dials and some screens. And I am very much into what this keyboard offers. It is stupid expensive though, and it's not wireless, which isn't a deal breaker, but I do like my cleaner setup of having a wireless keyboard that I recharge, maybe once a week. I think this is cool. Why is the color design so bad for the extra set of Switch 2 controllers? One of some colors you can actually see. Tricky, they're not bad. You can see them. It's subtle. It's minimalism. Stream Deck for number pad, just use keybinds. Well, Supersonic, that's the thing about the Stream Deck. You can do keybinds. You could even set this to a number pad mode if you wanted. But I think this is super convenient for a lot of things. Apparently it's going to have some really good game integrations too. Tricky, I also think the design was different. It was all black, so it didn't look similar to the Switch 1 Joy-Cons. Remember, the Switch 1 launched with these bright, candy color Joy-Cons, right? And they kept that trend up in every custom design after that. They were very bright and colorful, so I think toning it down sets it apart. It's more mature. But anyway, I thought it was cool. The Lego Smart Brick, which we did talk about a little bit, seems cool. They did announce the Star Wars sets for it. They're not stupid expensive, but they still are more expensive than I knew this was going to come with like some kind of premium price increase. And that's expected with this kind of thing. But the Smart Brick is kind of cool. All right, the GameSir Swift Drive. I haven't seen this. What is this? Is this a driving controller? GameSir has long dominated conversations around the best PC controllers, but now it's coming for your steering wheel as well in 2026. The Swift Drive controller includes a miniature direct drive steering wheel in the middle of its face. Gamepad was actually born as a high school project before being picked up by GameSir for funding and eventual release. That does not look great. How expensive is the keyboard? Let's see. Hold on. We can go to the website. All right. And let's see. We'll look. See, I like these integrations. That's super cool. Go away. Oh wow, it's got alternate USB ports as well. That's awesome. Give me the price. Buy now. My gosh, I just want to know how much it costs. Pre-order now. $350. That's a lot for a keyboard. However, I mean, this is pretty tempting. I wouldn't expect it to have been more than 500. 350 is still really steep, but having a bunch of other Elgato products, I would love the Steam Deck integration in the keyboard. A normal keyboard, 150, maybe 200. I paid, I think, 130 for my Razer Black Widow TKL that I'm using now, and then I bought some keycaps for it. So I kind of like that this is technically a 10 keyless with extra buttons. You know, I think that's cool. Hey, Denali hitting the hydrate. Thank you. I just think it's really cool. I don't know. What okay, non-creators in chat, people who don't stream, if you're in chat, does this appeal to you in any kind of way? Just as a gamer, maybe at work you could use this. I don't know. They come with a separate purchase mouse. I mean, a mouse you can integrate. What do you mean? Like, it's just a keyboard with buttons. It's just a keyboard with additional buttons. Now, I'm spying this Copilot button that I'm not a big fan of. I would rather have right control that I never use. Stream Deck is indeed useful work. Yeah, I agree. I wish my job would let me use my Stream Deck at work. It would be very nice to automate several tasks with Stream Deck. But we are locked down. Baby G, welcome in. Oh, good to see it. What is going on with my throat here? My voice cracked. Why? Why are we doing this? Be cool to be lost in how it works. It's really nice. Like, I have my Stream Deck set up for streams that, like, I do all of my transitions between scenes with hotkeys. Don't need that. Plus, I got a new keyboard that has special buttons to hotkey shortcuts. Yes, but do they have screens and widgets? Can they show you what time it is or the weather? That's where my appeal comes in. There's a lot of functionality in just this little thing, and then the two dials, if they work with like the Stream Deck Plus dials, which I really like for volume control, that's super cool too. So I'm kind of interested. Maybe I throw it on the throne wish list that I don't use. All right, where were we on this thing? Says by keyboard, there's a time when I lost control and I couldn't escape. Problem. Didn't really have an option, so I just entered into windowed mode. My gosh, the puns in this sentence. Oh, the keyboard is wireless because if it's USB, it may be salty, full or broken. Yeah, my keyboard is also wireless, and that's a big like thing for me. I like the neatness of not having a wire. All right, what else I got on this list? Let's see how good it is. The Asus ROG G1000. I think I saw a video on this. Let's see. Yeah, this is kind of cool. I wish they had a video of this thing in action. Why Game Radar? Why do you not have a video of this? Like, you have to see this. All right, let's see if we can find it. What is it? Asus ROG G1000 case. Yeah, sure. Go to the US website. I don't care. Okay. Oh my gosh. It's like everything has so many menus to click through. I don't know if you guys can tell from here. Let me zoom in. Nah, that's the wrong zoom. I done messed up. And I don't know if it's going to play while zoomed. Loop. No? Maybe not. Yeah, whatever. If we can just find a... I hate this kind of marketing. Look at all... It's cooling. It's a cooling chamber. They call it the thermal atrium. It's your AIO slot. It's got a separate area, which is great. Like, I think it's cool. But the real gimmick is the hologram fans. It's not even going to play, is it? Oh, jeez. I'm spending too much time on this. I don't know. The keyboard fit. You don't even use a computer. Asus ROG G1000. All right, let's see. Here we go. Just we'll watch this short.
ROG just revealed the world's first pre-build with holographic fans at CES.
Now, what I really like is the side and front hologram panels. It's just some big fan blades with LEDs. It's not super fancy, but it's enough. Oh, it is a pre-built machine. And all it costs is a second mortgage on your house. Anyway, I thought the case was cool. Thought it was worth looking at. I feel like I've been bamboozled. All right, GameSir Hyperkin X5 Alteron. What is this? This looks kind of neat. Let's see. Two brands collide at CES, introducing a modular controller with a scattergun approach to input styles. Alteron was to compete with best mobile controllers. Ah, it's a mobile controller, and you can swap in like GameCube, N64, traditional 6-button layout. That's pretty nice. That seems cool. It looks nice for someone who builds my own. I appreciate simplicity. I'd rather not have a fan that costs $100 to replace when it dies. Yeah, that's fair. That sounds like an activation code. It looks cool. I like this. I just use my DualSense or my Xbox controller on my phone or iPad these days. If I do hook up a controller to those. But if I needed a mobile controller, this is kind of cool. All right. 8BitDo FlipPad. This is really neat. Again, why do they not have it linked to any videos or any other footage? This just connects to your like phone, and then you have like Bluetooth controls for emulators and stuff. I think that's super cool. The Lenovo Legion Pro rollable. Again, this is a video that what is Games Radar doing? This is the worst article I have ever found. Anyway, the screen on this laptop rolls out into like a big widescreen, ultra wide display. Super cool. Like it. It's super expensive. Want to get a stronger, better desktop PC, saving up performance over aesthetics. This is laptop number 5 for the last 10 to 12 years. Next time I want to move to a desktop and more capability. Yeah, for sure. Saving up's the wise thing to do right now because there's no telling what the market's going to look like by the end of the year. All right, mod case for Switch 2. JSaux. I don't know. There's not enough pictures here. Like, I guess that's cool. As a good reason to be sitting next to Belkin on our wish list is more of a grip shell than a full clam shell. It comes packed with features to help alleviate some of the handheld shortcomings. Most obvious is the magnetic charger holder. Power bank itself isn't included. That's fine. Odd Ease Maxwell 2. Some headphones. Is that it? Oh my gosh. I thought there was other stuff. Alright, well. Alright, I guess that does it for the CES stuff then. Whatever. Alright, for our last little bit of this, Final Fantasy VII Remake lead feels a generational shift with new Square Enix developers calling Final Fantasy XIII their childhood favorite, not 6. The company has been growing and changing. So it's a pro tip for life. After a certain age, stop asking younger people what their favorite game, movie, TV show, or anything else was growing up. You're just inflicting existential dread upon yourself. Naoki Yamaguchi, director of Final Fantasy VII Remake Trilogy, suffers a little bit from this, hearing how newer Square Enix staffers became fans of the iconic JRPG series through the 13th mainline installment rather than any of the PS1 classics. The company's been growing and changing as new employees come in, and the company just keeps going on. He explains to Gamer Braves below in an interview that's been further translated by Games Radar Plus. The younger folk who come in don't say Final Fantasy VI anymore, like when talking about the games they played growing up. They say, oh yeah, Final Fantasy XIII was my favorite. So it really does feel like a generational shift. Considering Final Fantasy VII was my first, you and me both, Hamaguchi-san. Oh, this is the author. But then, this stands to reason Final Fantasy XIII arrived in 2009, long enough ago to be a staple for any fresh-faced college graduates entering the games industry. Which makes sense. It's just time to feel old, you know? You talk about what your favorite system was growing up, and a lot of me and my age group will talk about the Super Nintendo, the Sega Genesis. We'll mention PS2, GameCube or Xbox, N64 or PS1. You know, obviously those 3 generations were very pivotal in growing up. But now you got whole generations that are like, oh, I had an Xbox One as a kid. And it's like, you still are a kid. Shut up. The Xbox One isn't that old. And then you realize it is that old. And time isn't slowing down. But I just thought this was interesting kind of from the other side. These guys are hiring devs that are like, my favorite was Final Fantasy 13. And it's like, you're an adult, a working adult. You're supposed to like Final Fantasy 7 and 9, maybe 8. Anyway, well, that's all the articles I actually had for the game news today. It's just a Friday show. I was very lack of prepared for today, but it's something I'm going to roll out now. I guess we'll do Friday news, but we'll hang out and talk. I'm going to end the recording. So if you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, thanks for being here. Leave a like on the video, comment on any of the things I talked about. Enjoy the rambling and fumbling around I did today. But thanks for being here. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. But we're going to go just hang out and chat a little bit while I end the rest of the stream.